You know that feeling, right? Watching your new puppy grow, getting excited about every little change. But what if the most important growth happening is something you can't even see? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on this hidden connection between your puppy's first few months and their health for the rest of their life.
Okay, so this is a question that drives so many new puppy owners absolutely crazy. You've tried all the shampoos, you've switched up the food, but that nonstop, relentless scratching just won't quit. It's super frustrating, I get it. But the real answer? It's probably not where you think it is.
You heard that right. That constant scratching, the red irritated skin, the licking, most of the time, that's not just a skin problem. It's actually a giant flashing red light coming from the command center of their entire immune system, their gut.
So let's really zero in on this growth period. It is so much more than just your puppy getting bigger. This is what we could call the golden window for immunity programming. Seriously, what happens right here, right now, sets the stage for their health for the next 10, 15 years. It's a huge deal. Think of it like this. During this time, your puppy's immune system is basically a rookie in training. It's learning to tell the good guys, nutrients and good bacteria, from the bad guys, like toxins and harmful germs. If this training goes right, it learns to be cool and tolerant. But if it goes wrong, it learns to freak out and overreact to, well, pretty much everything. So where is this all happening? Where's the training academy? Get this. A whopping 70 to 80% of your puppy's immune cells are hanging out right in their gut. This isn't just a food processing plant, folks. It is the absolute headquarters for their body's entire defense force.
And that brings us to the real heart of the problem. If the gut is command central, what in the world happens when its defenses are broken? This is where a condition called leaky gut comes into play.
I want you to picture this. A healthy gut lining is like this perfectly built, unbreakable fortress wall. It's super smart. It lets all the good stuff, like nutrients, pass through into the city, that's the bloodstream, while keeping all the bad guys out. But with a leaky gut, yeah, that wall starts to crumble. You get these tiny gaps, these little cracks between the cells, and suddenly undigested food and nasty toxins, like something called LPS, can leak right through into the bloodstream. The fortress has been breached. So you're probably asking, what's causing these cracks in the wall, especially in a little puppy? Well, it's usually a mix of things. It could be a diet that's just not sitting right, the stress of moving to a new home, or even just environmental toxins that they're breathing in or licking up.
Okay, a breach in the wall. So what? How does that actually throw the entire immune system into total chaos? Well, it all comes down to a really cool concept we can call the immune seesaw.
Your immune system basically has two major teams that are supposed to work in perfect balance, like a seesaw. First up, you've got the Th2 team. Think of them as the border patrol. Their job is to guard the fortress wall and react to anything trying to get in from the outside. Then you have the Th1 team, the internal sweep team. They hunt down the bad guys, like viruses or cancer cells that are already inside the city. But when you have a leaky gut, poof, that balance is completely shattered. Toxins are just pouring through the wall, so the border patrol, that Th2 team, goes on red alert 24/7. It gets totally hyperreactive, and that's what we see on the outside as itching, redness, and allergies. But here's the problem. All the energy and resources are rushing to the border. This means the internal sweep team, Th1, gets its funding cut. It's starved of resources, and it basically just shuts down. And here is the really critical part. This isn't just some temporary puppy problem. When that immune seesaw gets thrown way off balance during this growth phase, it can kick off a domino effect that can last for their entire life. So the first domino to fall is the obvious one, chronic allergies that last a lifetime. But it doesn't stop there. We now know there's a direct highway between the gut and the brain, and that inflammation is linked to behavioral issues, things like anxiety, even aggression. And maybe the scariest part? With that internal sweep team completely offline, the body is left wide open and vulnerable to much bigger threats down the road, like viruses and even cancer. Okay, so this all leads to a really important shift in how we need to think about this stuff. When we see that itching, that inflammation, what should our goal actually be? The answer is in a whole new philosophy for our puppy's health. It's summed up perfectly in this phrase you see here, which basically translates to rebuild, don't suppress. The goal should never be to just mask the symptom. It's about fixing the root cause. It's about rebuilding the entire system from the ground up.
So, really, we have two paths we can take. The suppression path is using things like steroids to just turn off the alarm, to stop the itching. But that's like slapping some paint over a giant crack in the fortress wall. Sure, it looks better for a minute, but the wall is still broken. The other path, reconstruction, is about actually giving the body what it needs to fix the wall for good. So, how do we actually do that? How do we rebuild? Well, it's a two-part strategy. First is what we call mucosal revival. That just means giving the body the raw building materials, the bricks and mortar, like special fats called phospholipids, that it needs to physically repair and seal that gut wall. Second, we have to improve the body's metabolism so its cells can get to work cleaning up and flushing out all the toxins that already snuck in. So when you boil it all down, it comes to this. Taking care of your puppy's gut is about so much more than just good digestion. What you're actually doing is building them a strong, unbreakable fortress that is going to protect them for their entire life. And that leaves us with the one big question every single puppy owner should be asking themselves. When you look at everything you're doing for their health, their food, their home, how you deal with any little issues, you have to ask, are you building a fortress that will stand the test of time, or are you just patching up the walls?